evidence-based response to COVID measures. Enough is enough! But more importantly, I am here on behalf of my own children to defend their right to bodily autonomy and to protect and defend their right to freedom and to ensure they will never be excluded, discriminated against, segregated, bullied, or denied an education over decisions made regarding their own bodies. Today, our rally brings the concerns of everyone here regarding this mask mandate for school children to the doorstep of Taoiseach Micheál Martin, Minister for Health Stephen Dunn, and Minister for Education Norma Foley. We are here to say no more! The confused and messy announcement earlier this week that Ireland's prime school children aged 9 and upwards would have to wear masks in school marks a tipping point for many. Surrounding this announcement was nothing short of a disgrace. First said by one minister that it was not to be, to a large sign of relief by parents across the country, only to be later contradicted by another minister that it was indeed to come into effect in a haze of confusion no less than one day later. This is nothing short of a disgrace! I believe that this week represents a turning point in what Irish people will tolerate from elected and from our elected representatives. On that evening on November 1st, it took an even further turn for the worst when Minister for Education Norma Foley appeared on our television screens where she spoke in no uncertain terms about the manner in which it was to be implemented, a manner which many regarded not only as crude and discriminatory, but unconstitutional. Minister Foley called for schools to turn away pupils not wearing masks. And let's remember, this is just a mandate, not a law, in a chilling directive that made the blood of Irish parents run cold. A directive that some primary schools disturbingly complied with on the first mandate, in which children who chose not to wear a mask were escorted off the school grounds, handed back to their parents, distraught, humiliated, and excluded from their peers, and denied their right to an education due to this unconstitutional rule that has no basis in law or science. Minister Foley continued to announce that there was an extraordinary buy-in from students, parents, and guardians. Minister, we are here to tell you, we beg to differ. We very much beg to differ. Minister Foley said that the education sector had always followed the recommendation of public health. In that case, Minister, we ask you this. Why then has the advice of NEFIT, a body of 8 people with no expertise in children, been heeded over the Health Information Quality Authority, HIQA, a body of 37 healthcare professionals, including 2 consultant pediatricians? HIQA has consistently not recommended the masking of school children, finding no evidence basis for this intervention. We know that children are not at risk from COVID. We know that they are not a significant source of spread. Our own Minister for Health, Stephen Dunn, said just that on the same day the mandate was introduced. We say no more. Our children are not pawns in some bizarre game being played out between the government and the teachers' unions, where pressure to be seen to be doing something takes precedent over our children's health and well-being. No, our children's health and well-being come first. We have already seen how easily a mask mandate was brought into secondary schools, where students some 16 months on are still confronted with having to wear face coverings all day long, inhaling their own gases as they sit in freezing classrooms, somehow trying to eke out an education in this most stressful of times. Do we really believe for 1 second that if any of our ministers or public health officials had to face such working conditions, that these rules would still be in place? We do not! 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 I was asked a question yesterday by somebody who genuinely did not understand our concerns. They asked, but it's just a mask. What's the problem? This is the question that most people ask. I answered, it is just a mask, but it's a mask on a child's face for 5 to 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, for over 30 hours total on a child whose brains are developing rapidly. They rely on facial expressions to learn, to understand emotion, to feel empathy for each other. The implications of masking children or teens, for that matter, for long periods of time is undoubtedly detrimental to their emotional and mental well-being and will impact on their ability to learn. It will affect their physical health. We know this to be true from the testimony of teenagers who have reported suffering from headaches, skin infections and nosebleeds after weeks and months of mask wearing for 8 hours a day, with the odd permitted breathing break allocation to them. Wearing a mask is an action people are told to take in response to a perceived threat. But children should never feel like they are a threat to anyone or feel fearful of something that is not a risk to them. They should never carry that burden of weight or responsibility, especially when they're healthy and have been proven not to be drivers of viral transmission. Our children should be number one priority. We protect them, not the other way around. But children adapt, they say. But they adapt. Children should never have to adapt themselves to something that impinges on their right to bodily autonomy in order to appease or satisfy an adult so that adults can feel safer. No mandate masks for children to insist they cover their faces for adults. To feel safe is fundamentally wrong. It is an excess abuse of power and should be condemned and rejected by all. Wearing a mask is also not normal, and the normalization of such measures in school creates a visual and physical divide between peers. Us versus them, mask versus no mask, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, which will lead to increased incidences of bullying and the targeting of unmasked children in school by both pupils and some teachers. We already have witnessed this dysfunctional division develop amongst adults in our society over masks and vaccines and is now filtering down onto our children. We cannot allow this to happen. We must come together now vaccinated and unvaccinated, masks and unmasked, to show solidarity for our children, to show that we respect each other, to lead by example, so that the next generation we must do this to show that we respect each other, to lead by example so that the next generation will understand tolerance and kindness and have respect for one's bodily autonomy. This is paramount to a healthy, functioning society. Before I finish up, I want to also highlight a very important issue that has slipped through the radar this week through all this panic over masks. If Ireland's response to this pandemic has taught us anything, it is that temporary measures are anything but, and assurances to the contrary by those in power are meaningless. As we stand here today, inside those dull chambers, right here where we stand, the public health bill is being debated, which the government will attempt to pass on the 16th of December. Passed since the declaration of this pandemic, which are powers to government over the lives of citizens and curtailed our fundamental liberties to date. I would like which have granted extraordinary